Folk Phenomenology, the story behind it is it's this dissertation that I wrote in 2009, but I think that's also a really deceptive description of it, because dissertations are in some ways expected to follow a particular formula. But again, I'm in this field and in this position that because it's so marginalized, and because even within education, humanistic work is kind of not well appreciated or understood, I actually have, and had at the time, the ability to probably write a very different sort of dissertation. So I always approached writing my dissertation at Ohio State as writing a book. I never thought of it otherwise. So I was aware that, like, in therapeutic psychology and in medicine and in education, that people were tuned in to phenomenology as a way to make sense of things. In my book, I call it to imagine the real, and so I wanted to, on the one hand, have something to say about the method stuff in relationship to the philosophical domain. But on the other hand, I really wanted to give another way for people to engage with phenomenology, in particular people interested in questions of education. So I composed folk phenomenology as, on the one hand, my very small addition to the grand tradition of Husserl and Heidegger and Marion. But on the other hand, I tried to create an actual, like, technology. I call it the Trinitarian lens. So there's obviously a theological dimension going on there, but it's a lowercase t. You don't need transcendence for it to work. It means three mostly. And then that lens was then used in its three different segments to study education, study, and the human person. And then at the end, I just try to figure out whether or not that was worthwhile. But I guess the important part about it, though, is that description may not seem as though it has a lot to do with art. But to me, that's basically what art has always been about. It's always been about, in some sense, grasping with the real. So to pull a melody out of a guitar is a very concrete thing. It's linear in terms of the strings and the fretboard and everything like that. But you have to make the real real. You have to imagine the real. And then so whenever you write a song, it comes out, basically that way.